In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about congruence. You may have heard about congruence before in a geometry class, and you may understand, excuse me, you may understand congruence in ways that you can see here in these two triangles. So here we have some congruent parts. You'll notice that this part here between C and B has one line, and it corresponds to the part here at F and E, and this symbolizes the fact that they are congruent parts of this triangle. They match up, in other words. In a similar way, we symbolize one little semicircle in the corner here for this angle A, that corresponds to angle D over here. And it's important when we're naming congruent figures that we match up the parts. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DE and F. Notice that the parts are matching up. We wouldn't say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle FDE. That wouldn't be true because those parts are not matching up in our description of congruence. So in addition to the geometric perspective of congruence, matching parts, I also want to give you a more formal definition of congruence using some of the same topics that we've been talking about in terms of transformations of shapes. So here is going to be our formal definition of congruence. Two shapes are congruent if they are in the same plane, and if there is a rotation, a reflection, a translation, or any combination of these transformations that takes one shape to the other shape, and they match up exactly. So if we can take a shape and transform it by rotating it, by reflecting it, by moving it, translating it, so that it matches exactly on top of another shape, we are going to consider those shapes to be congruent. So I have a little example here, and you can follow along by going to this website, but I'm going to move over to that website now. So I'm going to stop my share. Well, let me move over to the website first, stop my sharing, and then I'll share this website with you so you can see it. So on this website, there are a number of triangles, and I want you to go to page 3 on this activity. You can get there by clicking these little triangles in the bottom and moving to page 3. And then I want you to see here that we have a triangle ABC. And what we're going to try to do is translate these other triangles so that they potentially can match up with triangle ABC and see if we can get them to be congruent. So if I drag, let's see, let's start with, oh, and by the way, if you notice, if you click on the blue dot, it will rotate the triangle around. If you drag the triangle, it will translate it, okay? So you can rotate and translate this triangle. I'm going to try to get these, and you'll notice also that the color coding of the angles. So here, angle L matches up with angle C, and angle D matches up with angle B. So we're going to match those up. And look at that. We can get them to be matched up pretty well. Okay. So that's the point here. You're seeing that we can translate. We can move these guys around. Now here, notice in this triangle, I have angle H and angle G that match up with A and C, but I can't get those two to be next to each other. I would have to reflect this triangle in order to get it to match up. I can match it up with angle C, but then I have G matching with B, and I don't want that, right? So I'm not able to do this, but if I could reflect this, I probably could, right? Let's play around with this one. This one looks like angle F and A match, and B and P. That looks pretty good. So this is how we're going to define congruence. If we can translate a triangle or shape onto another shape, then we are going to consider them to be congruent. So you're welcome to play around with this a little bit more and play around with our new definition of congruence.